It's Jimmy's podcast, season
11.
on the podcast. We coming back for more. I bet you never thought we'd last, and neither did we.
Well,
Breaking news, show reviews, rubber boots reacts, and other social media crap. And if nothing else, you know you're gonna have a laugh. You're gonna have a laugh, oh yeah, 'cause this is the podcast.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. It's time to... How does it go again? Look, I'm still in the 5 stages of grief, okay?
But what?
The Super Bowl, you idiot!
Oh, sorry.
not all of us were winners, Puffy.
Yeah. Yes, that was a great game for me.
What did you have? What did you
My
bet
big,
Casey?
well, my winning bet was KC plus 2. I think 2 plus 2 under 47.5.
Oh, was that? Did it end up? That was close in the end, wasn't
47 is the number. The best is in overtime. I'm doing the math, and my kids were like, "I've never seen you do math so fast, Dad." I'm like, pretty impressive, eh?
You're like a wizard.
it? So if
Me adding and subtracting.
if the Niners had scored a touchdown, then you would have lost. Or
Yes.
if the KC had,
Yeah, the why I would have been if it was like field goal, touchdown.
right, which would have probably not happened.
That would have been the over. No, because
Yeah,
it's
that's
more
right.
likely they'll kick a field goal for the
yes.
third score as well. But yeah, you never know. As you know, I presented mine and Puffy's parlay play last week on the podcast.
Free money, we called it.
Pretty much. Unfortunately, I waited until Super Bowl Sunday to put my bet in. And at that point, the line had moved to 47 even. So basically, yeah, that's right. I pushed half of my parlay, so I only won half the money. And the worst part for me was heading into overtime. I did the math quickly too, but I did the math wrong. And I thought I was going to win regardless. And it did
You
not.
see, I don't know how you guys do it because, well, first of all, I should have done what I talked about on the pod last week and bet
3 Gs.
3 Gs.
You should have
on
bet
the
$1 million on the
because as I was sitting in that stadium,
Drake.
as I was sitting in that stadium, like late in the fourth, I said I would pay $3,000 for the Niners to pull this out. It started to feel more and more important to me as it went along. And then, here's the thing that bothers me. And I don't know if you feel the same, Puff. Like when your Seahawks lost on that awful interception
Yes.
by Malcolm Butler, do you wish that they had just lost like 24-10?
In some ways. I mean, that was helped because they'd won the Super Bowl the previous year.
Right.
And so when they lost it the next year, it didn't hurt as bad. As time has gone on, it hurts more.
Oh, that makes me feel
Two in a
better.
row would have been huge. 2 in a row would have been huge. Yeah, the pain will only get worse.
Because the Niners have, look, I was very spoiled when I was young and they won 5 in a row. Not 5 in a row, but 5 without losing. And now these last 3 losses have been, like, this was the worst. But the Kaepernick one against the Ravens, you remember they were down, whatever, I don't know, 28-3 or something, or 28-7, and the lights went out, came back all the way. And they drove the field with like a minute and change left. And they were first and goal from, I think, the 3. Frank Gore ran it down to the 3. And Jim Harbaugh called 4 straight fades to Crabtree. Like the same play, I think 4 straight times. I may be off slightly, but essentially. Like just no creativity whatsoever. And we lose that Super Bowl. And then we're up 21-10 on the Chiefs, or 20-10, excuse me, with 7 minutes left. And they have 3rd and 15 and hit that play to Tyreek Hill and then score 3 touchdowns in 5 minutes. So that was painful. But this one of all of them, A, because I think it was their best shot, and B, because there were so many things in that game. And don't get me wrong, like I felt like everybody else, like the Chiefs were kind of inevitable. Patrick Mahomes was inevitable. And I'm not saying, the Niners deserve to win or anything like that. But there was just there's so many there's probably like 6 things in that game that if they go the other way, the Niners win. And like top of that list when Greenlaw tears his Achilles running on the field.
Yeah, that felt big when it happened. Like I remember I was watching on the airplane and I was like, oh, that's a key.
Oh,
that guy's a hell of a player.
You guys can just say that I'm fanning here, and obviously we'll never have the answer to this, but I truly believe if he doesn't get hurt, they win the game. And my evidence for that would be, I think he's awesome. Like Fred Warner gets all the attention as the best Niners defensive player. Greenlaw was like, it was 1-1A the entire year between the two of them, right? Secondly, the guy who they kind of shuffled linebackers on and off, but the guy who replaced him mostly was Oren Burke. They targeted him 11 times, 11 for 11, 135 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah.
Like that's so if, 3 or 4 of those Greenlaw is there for, and a lot of that was Kelsey, that, it's a different game. But the one that bothers me the most, and the whole overtime discussion, whatever, I mean, I would have taken the ball second as well, like everybody else, but I don't think it would have mattered. Shanahan's argument. Sorry, go ahead, Pat.
And I agree with Shanahan's argument that if both teams do the same thing, then you get the first ball to score to win it.
Right.
So there's value in that.
And then the Chiefs say, well, we would have gone for 2. Let's say the Niners had scored 7, because it's all like bottom line is they had to score a touchdown, right? I think we all kind of knew that.
So would you have gone for it?
I don't know.
Were that close?
That's a tough one. Like that. Yeah. That's a tough one because you're losing.
Your defense
game,
has played well through a majority of the game.
They have, but they were starting to fade definitely down the stretch.
But at that point, I mean, KC only had the one drive for a touchdown outside of the muff punt, right?
Yeah. Yeah. But but the last drive, it looked really easy, basically, when they tied it in regulation. And that, like, I don't know how much you guys got into it after, but it was a total, like, they forgot to block Chris Jones on that play, right? They just, one of the linemen so one of the linemen on that 3rd and 4th, they're at the 7-yard line. One of the linemen just went the wrong way. Like a literally brain cramp went the wrong way. And Chris Jones just was, and not only was Juwan Jennings wide open for the first down, but I don't know if you saw it, but Ayuk turned Snead inside out and Snead fell. So Ayuk was 10 yards clear of anybody in the end zone. That hurt.
Yes.
that hurt a little bit. I'm not going to lie. I'm getting a low battery thing on this Mac, which is terrifying me right now. So what would happen if my battery died?
Do you not have a charger you can plug in?
Might be missing right now.
Oh God.
Okay, hold on. I gotta rally. Hold on.
You're bound to have countless chargers over there. There's probably one propping up that table right now.
A charger, but if I doesn't seem to be
working sockets.
Functioning. Hold on. Stay with me, everybody. Stay with me, kids.
This is good.
Hang in there, everybody.
This is what Joe Rogan did.
Where am I going to plug this in?
This is how he blew up.
Conditions. I think we've been on the air as long as Joe Rogan. His podcast is a different trajectory.
It's slightly different.
Pat McAfee, we had him. We had to jump on him by about 10 years, and he's duped by us.
Yeah, I think he's frozen. I don't think he's no longer finicking back there. I think he's frozen.
Or he's dead.
Stay tuned for this and more.
I was scrambling when I saw my battery fading.
Yes.
I grabbed what I thought was the proper power cord, and I was scrambling to find a plug. And the plug that I pulled out was my modem.
Oh, there you go.
MacGyvered yourself.
Now, then I had to move to another side of the house, and then it failed again. Now here I am.
Third location.
For the 3rd time, Brandon Ayuk, great pattern. Snead, who did a great job all game, fell down. Ayuk was open by 15 yards in the end zone. And anyway, it's not. None of it's to be.
I think it was the muff punt that did it more than anything else.
So here's the thing about
turning point gave him life.
Yeah. So just for our listeners, the strangest thing about covering a Super Bowl, and the stupidest thing, quite frankly, the NFL, for all it does well, does not do a good job being accommodating. I'm not sure what it's like in the real press box. I'm sure it's better. But in the auxiliary box, where all the TV people are, there are no monitors. And they used to give us little radios, but they don't do that anymore for some reason. So we are just like a fan at the game.
Mhm.
We don't hear any of the broadcast. We don't see any replays unless they put them on the big screen. And so what I end up doing now is I text like 4 or 5 of my buddies. I guess I didn't do you guys this time, but I usually would.
Didn't
and say,
trust us.
tell me what's
I
going
was on an airplane.
Tell me what's going on at the game. So you have my idiot friends are the ones like, that's the only way I knew Greenlaw got hurt.
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, you wouldn't.
And
Oh, wow.
the point I'm making is we did not know that the punt had hit the leg of one of the Niners defenders. And so we didn't know until post game that had happened, which is, awful. But Ray McLeod either way should have jumped on the ball, not tried to pick it up and run with it. So it's still a muff punt. He's still screwed up, but it makes a little more sense that it hit one of his teammates and he was a little more scrambly, right? Because Luke Wilson was just trying to figure out, well, why the heck would he have done what he did? Why would he have tried to pick it up after he let it bounce, right?
Well,
so
James, I have a solution for this problem.
Yes.
I go to the Super Bowls, and my job is to stay at the hotel in Las Vegas, and I watch the game on the TV, and I text you notes.
So why don't you just go to Vegas every year?
From location.
What exactly would be the difference between you texting me from where you are now in Las Vegas?
Well, because then I would have a feel for the city and the game, so I could give you a little bit of extra stuff.
And by Puffy's desperation, you would know if his bets are covering or not.
Yes.
I will
live from Caesar's Palace.
But the real play, the punt. But to me, it's in regulation when it was 2nd and 3, 2.5 minutes left on whatever it was, 27, 26 yard line. Everybody talks about the 3rd and 4 play, which is another blitz, but they had 2nd and 3. You got 2nd and 3, and you get a first down on either one of those plays, and the game's essentially over, right? You can run it down to 30, 40 seconds left and kick a field goal. And so, anyway, that's why it's more painful. I'm sorry.
How many times have you rewatched these things, Jimmy? Because it sounds like you're torturing yourself.
I spent a lot of time
breaking down the numbers.
Did. I spent a lot of time in my hotel room after watching.
Weeping.
And there's a few guys that I follow on the X who break down plays. Do you follow Baldinger, who's very good?
I don't follow him, no.
And he just basically, he does kind of like what Frankie Corrado, who I think everybody should follow here, does for hockey, where he takes a play and says, here's exactly what happened. That's why I know about the missed block and all those other things. So,
No, I just remember when the Eagles lost last year, I watched the game one more time again, and I just promised myself I wouldn't.
It's hard to, right? Like, I think I'm done now.
I never rewatched.
Because that was a painful one too. Sorry, I was talking about the Seahawks loss, but your loss was pretty simple.
I mean, it was painful because it was, they were so even back and forth. It just kind of, it sucked. It ended on a penalty like that. And, it wasn't like the most egregious penalty. Sure, it was holding to a degree, but it just, you feel like you could do that on every play. So from that standpoint, but like Puffy's is much worse, I think, just because they were literally right there, and then you throw a pick to end it. Like,
the only thing is, I've still always justified it. I think it was a great play by Butler, not a bad play by the Seahawks.
You don't think it was the play call wasn't bad?
No, they did that all year. They even did it at the beginning of the first half, where they threw when you expected them run. That's just their style of play that year. And I just think
in the Super Bowl on the line, you have beast mode back there.
Beast mode also got stopped plenty of times on short yardage. He wasn't exactly the short yardage king. It's always felt that way, the way he ran the ball, his style, but he was much better when he was running downhill, like in a bit of open field.
Just kind of run over guys. Yes.
But just like running over like a stack line, it wasn't exactly, he's not that big a dude. And they did, like, it was a great play call. They just knew the play. Hat tip to the other team. Sometimes they make a great play. And that one was just a great play. Even when I watch it on replay, it's still, I'm like, how the hell did he intercept that? Like, even like his timing was perfect. It was a perfect throw by Wilson because it went right into Butler's gut.
He did it off film, right? Like,
you've seen the NFL film stuff where they have film of practice and they were working on that exact play. And that's, that's
Belichick.
like, this is what bothers me a bit about Shanahan is he's supposed to be this, the most brilliant offensive mind in the game, whatever. And you have, again, 2nd and 3, and you can't come up with anything better than, a straight McCaffrey draw, which, whatever. I suppose I might have done that too. They were running the ball better. And then you just run a slant on 3rd and 4. Like, isn't there something, something creative like the Chiefs kind of do that you have in your bag just for this moment to win the Super Bowl?
Well,
right?
Or just get yourself closer so that 4th down is,
right.
4th and 1 or whatnot.
Because they're blitzing no matter what.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Now with Jimmy, what did you think of them firing the defensive coordinator?
I thought they might fire him if they won. Like if they'd won 34-31.
Really? No,
because of the playoffs? Or?
I just think they didn't. I don't think he was on the same page with Shanahan all year long. So I thought he did a really good, like the first half, they did a fantastic job. And it's not his fault that Greenlaw got hurt, right? So I give the guy, Steve Wilkes, I give him a lot of credit because they weren't very good in the last 2 games. If there's somebody they can grab who's better, then I don't have a big problem with it because he bothered me much of the year, just very conservative, which is kind of weird because he was a big blitzer. That's what he was known for before. And that's the Niners, I just thought played a little bit too soft. But hey,
what's interesting, because I can't remember if it was in overtime or late 4th quarter, but there was a big play in the game and Shanahan called timeout. And Romo said it was because he didn't like the play call. They went cover 0, and he didn't like that call for that situation. And I was like, oh, wow, overruling your DC there, like in a big moment like that, that's not necessarily a sign of confidence. So I'm not surprised that this happened.
Yeah. And then there's like, even that 4th and 1 in overtime, Bosa had already been beaten once on that same sort of play where Mahomes is just trying to read him basically, right? But the fact it was out of the shotgun, I would have just thought Bosa would have, like somewhere in his mind would have triggered that Mahomes is, plus Kelsey was on that side, Mahomes is probably going to fake this. And I would have loved for Bosa, like it would have been, brilliant Super Bowl winning to like start one step towards the running back, kind of fake Mahomes out and go to him. Cause he was unblocked basically. And he just went to, I don't think it was probably Pacheco, but I can't remember, or if it was McKinnon, but anyway, a lot of deep football analysis. That's what I've been doing for the last 72 hours, but I'm okay.
What we're known for.
I'm okay. So what else do I want to tell you about the Super Bowl? Exciting. Oh, I met. I got a shot at Taylor Swift for my daughter. So basically, what happens? Let me take you back. They make you another frustrating thing about covering the event, which I love and is a massive privilege. Is they come and get you like 10 minutes left in the 4th quarter and say everybody's got to go down together, all the media like a herd. And all the people that are going on the field anyway. And you stand in like the bowels of the building for 45 minutes watching the game on this tiny TV monitor. That's how I've watched my first 6 Super Bowls with no sound again. So you're just guessing on what's happening. So a couple of years ago, I said enough of this stuff. And I started to spend part of my pregame plotting my way down, trying to find the fastest route to the field that I could legally go because it's crazy security. So I spent like an hour going down staircases, finding the best way to the field. And then I stayed till the end of the game and then lead my troops down onto the field like a general. Right?
Oh, wow.
So I found the fastest way. I was slightly mistaken. So I ended up at the wrong side of the stadium. But so we had to go through the stadium underneath to get to where we were supposed to go on the field. And there's hardly anybody in this hallway because everybody was down at the other end. And who do I see coming towards me is Beyonce and Jay-Z. And there's nobody else there. And Davis and Luke and our group was a few, 30 feet behind me. And so I'm like, okay, here I go. Here's a big moment for me. So I go, yo, Jay.
Oh, God.
And Jay-Z just gives me a nod. And Beyonce was like 10 yards behind with the kids. And Jay-Z was, and then I said, yo, B.
Oh, my God.
She didn't look at me.
I was very
I only realized 2 feet away, so I had to come up with something quick. I thought that was pretty good.
Maybe you inspired that country song.
For yelling at Tiger Woods.
I just said yo B.
The professional environment.
I think the yo J's worse.
Yeah, they're both pretty bad. This is what came out. It's the street in me, my rapping career. So then I went on the field, and it takes a few minutes for our crew to set up. You've never done a Super Bowl with me, right, Puff?
No.
Yeah. So Owen and Vardy, our camera guys, are setting up on the field, and it takes, you got to plug in cables and all that stuff. So I had about 5 minutes. And so my daughters have been bugging me to get close to Taylor Swift. So I go down to the other field, right, like basically just after they presented the Lombardi, like Travis Kelce was up on the stage. And it was funny because I was looking around because all the people are facing the stage, all the Chiefs team and, their family and friends and stuff. And I couldn't see Tay-Tay. And so, but then I saw like 10 cameras pointed not at the stage whatsoever, but behind the stage, and figured it out. And so she was back there. I thought, a smart move on her part not to go up on the stage, like classy, let it be their show. Cause Brittany and everybody else.
Was Mahomes' wife up there?
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah, but wives is different than girlfriends, right?
I think.
In that
I
respect,
agree,
probably.
I think so. But you knew she was.
Or a long-term relationship,
yes,
as opposed to what they have, right? So yeah.
So I got within about 15 feet, and she was kind of by herself at that point. But I felt really creepy at that point, because it is, and I really feel for her because she's just standing there, minding her own business, but everybody is looking at her, and there was 15 me's taking pictures.
Jimmy, she could have stayed home if she wanted to.
No, I know that. It's still it's just weird. So I probably could have got closer, but there was about 3 security guards. If you look at the photo that I took, it would probably punch me in the head if that happened.
But with today's technology, we can just take those guys right out.
Yeah.
Put the 3 of us there. Throw Lester in too.
Oh, Lester, by the way. Hey, welcome to the Rubber Boots podcast, everyone.
Yes.
That was our introduction.
Lester is off.
We're almost done now. Lester is off today. He had some appointments. He will be back next week on the podcast. So that was basically my Super Bowl. It was a good time. Oh, I forgot about the real excitement that happened after the game. So we go down to our lobby, to the same lobby of the hotel where we did the bath thing last week, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
With the Asian male
not exactly the highest end hotel on the Strip, but it was fine. It was.
Oh, you guys weren't on the Strip?
Just off the Strip.
Oh, okay.
3-minute walk. Not bad.
No, it's fine.
Right across from the Cosmo. Honestly, I don't care. Give me a bed, a decent hotel.
Now, you did have a room in the Cosmo, right?
Baby. Sorry?
You had a room in the Cosmo, though, right?
We had a suite in the Cosmo just to do our work.
But you couldn't sleep there?
I think that Owen, the cameraman, slept there maybe the last night. But you could. There was a bed there. Like somebody could have slept there. But
yeah, like why didn't someone stay there?
It's a good question. Probably because they would have, every morning, people were coming in there at 8 o'clock to start doing television.
Oh, was that early that you guys were doing stuff?
Kind of weird, too. I did the Jay Onright show on Thursday night, and I don't love heights. I think Farhan is afraid of heights, so he wasn't comfortable up there. We were on the 38th floor, and we had to do it right up against the edge of the balcony. Now, there's a railing and everything, so no one was going to fall off. But for Jay's show, for whatever reason, Owen wanted me higher, so he made me stand on a box, like a 2.5 foot high box. Ooh. And that was the railing. I was up against the railing, and I would say the railing came to my penis level. So
I don't know. That would be comfortable there.
I felt like if not the wind would have been.
You could flip over that for sure.
I was a little. I don't know how I was for that segment, but I felt a little.
Why didn't you stand up for yourself and say, no, I'm not doing it?
Yeah. Workers have rights, Jimmy.
Yeah, if you were a guitar instruction man, you would have been dead.
Yeah, exactly.
So get up on that roof, Jimmy.
Yeah, I was a little bit terrified, but where was I getting to? Okay,
I would have not done that. Wow. We
go to our lobby to get dinner when we get home from the Super Bowl, which Vegas time was still like 9 or 10 o'clock. And they're closed for food. So we got to find some crappy little restaurant across the street. Actually, it wasn't bad. Korean barbecue. You ever done the Korean barbecue before?
Oh, yeah. I love it.
You got to cook your own food.
Terrific. Yeah, but the marinade's so good.
I didn't know you had to cook your own food, though.
Is it soju?
Carol Wagland and Farhan Lalji were cooking the food. That's not my idea.
Yeah, but you don't have to get up. All the food's pre-prepped. You're just throwing it in a little
heater.
Whatever.
I just think they didn't get the meats exactly the way I wanted it.
Oh,
Whoa. You should have sent it back.
Okay, so we have to cross an intersection, 4 lanes, to get to this restaurant. As we're standing at the light, you're talking, right? So you're not really paying attention. Massive bang, crash. Then a second massive crash like 4 seconds later. Right away, we turn around, and there's a car that has gone in. On the other side of the street, there was a turn into a mall parking garage, and some guy had slammed right into the wall, like smoke coming out of the car. So all our eyes are going there, and this lady was with us goes, look to your right. A car had was flipped over. So I'm guessing the first car was going too fast, tried to hit the brakes, completely flipped over.
yeah.
And then the second car was the one that tried to veer around it and hit the thing.
The wall, yeah.
So there's people in this car. So so Jimmy starts running, and Farhan, the others, I don't know, Naylor was useless. He didn't save anybody. No, Naylor's the best. But
except in this situation.
So and there
Jimmy,
was
the jaws of life, Duffy.
I love Naylor. No, Naylor and Wagland, I guess, they stayed put.
Well, I mean, just in case,
The women and children
TSN could not lose all their top talent
No,
in
we
one
couldn't.
instant. You know what I mean?
And we can't lose Wagland. She's
They're exactly
she's
designated
the face of the
survivors.
NFL.
Absolutely.
So Farhan and I run on the street, and there's 2 other bystanders that run. And one guy goes to the other side and pulls one person out of the car. The other person is unconscious on my side of the car. So I'm with this dude that I don't know. Farhan's calling 911. And this dude's like, do we pull her out? I'm like, I don't think we should pull her out, because what if she's got a spinal, right? But then I'm thinking about all the movies where there's a gas leak and the car is going to explode.
Yeah.
So Jimmy has the vision of pulling the person out, throwing them over the shoulder, running away slow-mo just as the car explodes.
Love it.
Right?
Yeah.
Kind of wish that happened, but it didn't. You only have so many chances to be a hero, right?
It's true.
So I'm like, no, we gotta. The car was fine. It wasn't smoking or anything like that. We gotta leave her. So this guy's doing a really good job. He's talking to her. She comes to.
So 1 second, Jimmy, is this the car that's flipped on its
car that's flipped on its side
down? Yeah.
So they're upside down.
Others have gone to the other car where the guy's fine. It was just it was smashed, but he's able to stumble out of the car. So whoever, I guess the driver of the flipped car, they pull him out the other side. So it's just this woman who was in the back seat.
Mm-hmm.
And so now I'm trying to, Farhan's calling 911. He's like the 911 guy. And me and the other guy are trying to talk to this girl and say, are you okay? Okay. And he was actually doing a much better job than me, because he's saying, do you have kids? What are their names? He's trying to keep her conscious.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
But it was a terrifying situation. I've never come, we've driven past accident scenes. I've never come on an accident immediately as it happens this. I would give credit to the Vegas PD and ambulance. 90 seconds after Farhan called, they were there.
That's amazing.
Crossing off the road. They got it. She did not have a spinal. They got her out 5 minutes later. I don't think anybody was seriously hurt. So that was the good thing on it. Ate my Korean food. Everything was fine. But
you didn't have to give a statement?
Well, we didn't stay around for that. I was hungry. I don't think
Jimmy's talking to the lady hanging upside down. Do you have any food in the car?
Right. Is there anything like a granola bar or anything? I haven't eaten in 3 hours.
Yeah, just
Did
for
you
the
see
record,
that fourth
hero here.
Yeah. So
That's scary though.
No, I don't know. I thought about that. Should we stick around? But we didn't really witness the crash anyway, right? We witnessed it. We saw it, but I would have been
sure. There's tons of cameras there, and
I would have been no use to the police. Together. But I was good. When the police arrived and they ran out of the car, I'm like, all right, vehicle number 1 over there, drivers out of the car safely. Vehicle number 2 right here, drivers out, 1 passenger left, back seat left. I was doing
oh yeah,
look at that, good job.
I walked a lot of cop shows when I was a kid, so I was proud of Farhan. I was proud of myself. Naylor and Kara, you don't want them if you fall through the ice or something, you don't want them trying to rescue you.
It's good to know who to count on, and I know we can count on you, Jimmy, to save us.
Yeah. The other thing, Kara, you spend a lot of time together at Super Bowl. You were there the whole time, and Davis and Luke too. But Kara made me do. Have you seen the TikTok that Kara made me do?
Well, I was going to ask you about that. The high-fiving, or
yeah, our staff, particularly the female members of our staff, Kara Wagland, Sarah Davis, Lindsay Hamilton. They're big TikTokers, right? They do a lot of. They're prolific TikTokers. That's right. I think Sarah Davis is she's excellent at it. Like, I don't even know how she gets work done because she's always TikToking all over the place. These wardrobe changes and stuff. So Kara wants to do some TikTok where I guess it's the Justin Timberlake song "Mirror" sped up. I'm looking right at the man half of me, and there's like claps every 3 seconds.
So that's like a thing. I'm assuming
it's a thing. Like the TikTok thing or the Instagram thing. Like there's trends, right? So somebody does one, and then everybody does it. So, which I don't. That's why I've never got about TikTok. I'd rather just do my own original material. But I don't know. I think I've done 4 TikToks in my life. So yeah. So everywhere we are that week, I have to cross my legs, high five her every time. So we do it on the set. We do it at the Golden Knights game we went to. We went golfing. Shout out to Gary Lawless, the mayor of Las Vegas. Set me up golfing. Took me out to some lounge one night. He really is. If you don't know Gary Lawless, he used to be the mayor of Winnipeg. Not really the mayor of Winnipeg, but the unofficial mayor of Winnipeg. He took the job to run media for the Vegas Golden Knights. He's now the mayor of Vegas. He's just he's hooked up.
He knows everything, eh?
He's hooked up with everybody. So I got to play at Gary's course. We took out Vardy and Owen, the 2 cameramen, and Kara and I. Hurt my back. Had to quit after 12 holes. But anyway, we had to do the thing, and now the TikTok. You can go visit Kara Wagland's TikTok account or her Instagram account, and you see my little TikTok. I wasn't too keen, frankly. But Kara is a wonderful soul, so I had to indulge her. Nice. She does a lot of stuff that like we don't do on our normal trips, Puffy. Like she made Luke and Davis and I Super Bowl friendship bracelets.
Oh,
okay.
They all said something different. They all said something different with the little beads. Like I think mine said Super Bowl bestie or whatever. She's very thoughtful. Like Puffy, why don't you never made me a friendship bracelet at the Masters or the Stanley Cup Final?
No. But
should we add that this year?
We should. We have a nice little house.
Yeah. So who is going to do the friendship? Am I going to do the friendship bracelets, or are you going to be responsible for that?
You are responsible for that, but I will wear it for the week.
I just can't believe she sat in her hotel room for like hours.
Hold on, she made the bracelets herself, or did she buy them?
Yeah, I think she did a TikTok on that too for making the bracelets. No, like they had little messages to every different person. There was a different message for Luke and a different message for David.
Sorry, after she gave you that thoughtful thing, you had nothing for her? Like
no, I just made fun of her on the podcast for not saving anyone at the accident, right? No, I didn't.
And then for making you a bracelet too.
I gave her a hug.
Yeah. Wow.
Look, women are just more thoughtful than men in general, right? Always.
That's very true.
Did Naylor's little band say Survivor on it?
Crash
Survivor.
Witness Survivor.
I got a ball. You know, you've seen in the background behind me, the one thing I collect usually is I'm not a collector, but I'll usually buy a ball at every Super Bowl. And I wasn't going to buy one this time, and I said, I'm going to jinx the Niners. But at halftime, it was like 10-3, so I bought.
So you jinxed them.
The official Super Bowl ball. They didn't even blow it up for me.
A little deflated there, yeah.
And it's a Brady ball. Funny.
Oh wow!
Nice.
Too soon.
Yeah, so that's it. Did you guys see the Ben Affleck Dunkin' Donuts commercial?
I did. I loved it.
I didn't really watch
4-minute version
commercials. 4 minutes? No.
There's a 4-minute.
I've only seen.
There's a 4-minute version that shows the whole story, and I got to say, I'm not the biggest Ben Affleck fan, but very well done. Anyway, I know we're short on time today. It's going to be a shorter podcast. I had some Wi-Fi issues, so let's let Stoff get to all the relevant stuff.
All right, so what do you want to do here? Little listener mail. Do you want to do the socials that were forbidden from 2 weeks ago?
The hungover vagina stuff? Let's do the listener mail first, and then we'll do the socials at the end.
Okay, perfect.
The Boots Podcast.
Listener mail. Listener mail.
Podcast.
Thank you for listening.
All right, so listener mail. We got C. McKay 3 writing in regarding your Takis ad. Funny guy, Jimmy. You should promote Rubber Boots Pod this well.
I should probably.
Fair point, I say. Fair point.
Yeah, I had
Our
to
listeners calling you out.
Once in a while, we get contracted as an influencer. to do things, and this was Taki's Chips that I did 2 ads for last week, and
sales through the roof, by the way.
Oh, unbelievable! I kept getting
just checked the stock this morning.
People kept sending me messages of them buying Taki's Chips. I think I probably I've done what for Taki's Chips what Ben Affleck, Tom Brady, and Matt Damon have done for Dunkin'
Absolutely. Throwaway 915753 writes in. The pod on he's responding to our podcast post, and he just writes the pod on which doth he called a game from Jennings. So
Puffy,
you didn't give yourself, you didn't give yourself the props you should have for that, even though your team.
Do we have can you roll that back or what? Can you roll that in?
Yes, I'll cut that clip. We'll play it here.
Juwan Jennings is going to have a massive impact in the Super Bowl. I'm not saying he's going to make 8 catches. Okay. Juwan Jennings is an underrated third option in the National Football League. When Debo went down in that game against Green Bay, several big catches, good hands, tough guy. Juwan Jennings will make a play, take it to the bank, put it on your FanDuel or whatever.
Puffy,
wow.
Thank you. I look at He even had a better game than I said. I just said no one's talking about this guy. I watched the Niners all year. I don't know why they don't use him more. And let's face it, if that play we talked about, that 3rd and 4 in overtime, if he makes that catch and the Niners win, he's probably the MVP, right? He's going to get the MVP over Purdy.
Because he's got
threw a touchdown.
He threw a touchdown as well. Yeah.
I saw something from Spagnuolo. Spagnuolo said that Purdy was destroying their zone in the first half, and that's why they had to go to man. And he was extremely complimentary. And he looks like the best DC in the NFL right now. So I got no problem going forward with Brock Purdy. Continue.
Alrighty. Tim Hooper 871 writes in, got to give huge props to Duthie on the Jennings prediction. So that's another one there.
Thank you, people.
Pete in Japan writes in, thanks for the clarification regarding various hoes in the podcast. My family of hoes, wife and 3 kids, also heard the shout out from Lester. They smiled, but clearly I was the most jazzed up about being mentioned. So
right.
There you go.
We found out his name is Peter Ho, right?
Yes. So his last name is also Ho, just as is
Peter
Ho. So
Peter, I went to a high school with a girl named Josie Ho. I wonder if there's any relation anywhere along the way. Hello, Josie.
Yeah, there's a lot of hoes.
I'm sure they're related, James.
Excuse me? What did you say, Puff?
There's a lot of hoes out there.
Speaking from experience.
I know.
Ottawa's the smallest city ever. I was going to Turks, I don't know, a year ago. We were at the airport, and I see Josie Ho. And I'm like, Josie, how are you? And she's like, oh, I haven't seen you forever. And then a couple minutes later, I see this guy I used to play touch football with for a long time, Anthony. I'm like, Anthony, how you doing, buddy? What's going on? We talked for 2 minutes, and then all of a sudden I see them together. I'm like, what's going on? Anthony, Josie Ho. He's like, we're married. I'm like, whoa. Everybody in Ottawa, it's like 1 degree of separation.
It's funny, though, how you always know both the first and last name of women in your past, but guys in your past, you're like, yeah, that guy that,
buddy,
I spent 9 years with.
Hold on. So am I going to have to beep out? I can't beep out Ho because we will know that's what we're talking about. So I'll just beep out Josie.
No, you don't have to beep out Josie Ho. She's she's a good friend. It's not an ex-girlfriend.
I see.
We were only friends.
There's no negative connotation.
I don't think what you're saying is right, Puffy. I just think that, with my ex-girlfriends, I usually say their names. But
yes,
like Josie Ho is just one of those names you have to say the whole name. Right?
Yeah.
Josie just doesn't sound right. Ho just doesn't sound right. You just got to say Josie Ho. Just one of it just comes off your tongue.
Pete in Japan also writes in, perhaps for our Patreon members, take what you're watching and debate who in the pod is most like a character in the movie or series. Maybe reenact the scene with dialogue from whatever you're watching.
So we watch shows. What do you want us to do?
He basically, whatever show we're watching, he wants to apply us to those characters. Like, who's most like that character in that show?
What is this? Pete, do you think this is a theater troupe?
Well, he's giving us an idea for the Patreon. We asked people what they would pay for. He's saying this is what he would pay for. You can't criticize them for what they want to pay for.
So good point. That's a great idea, Pete.
Start acting out the scene from Gladiator.
So say we are doing the show Succession. Which characters would we be? In Succession?
I have not watched the show, so you'll have to pick.
Tough show to do because it's too rat-a-tat-tat dialogue. Like I don't think I could do Kieran Culkin. I could be that maybe, or the manic guy. What's the other guy? The main character there, brother. He's so
Okay.
I don't know if this doesn't happen, I might die. That guy, I can't do him either. I could probably do the dad, Brian Cox.
He just says fuck all the time. That's all he says. He swears. He's the best.
Well, I hope that was worth the $5.99, Pete.
You're not serious people. That was pretty good.
We can do Bridgerton.
We should.
Well, the show that I want to see is Throuple.
What's that?
Or Throuple. It's a dating show with couples, but then a third person is added to, and they try to make it a throuple. Like it's
Throuple. I think it's how it's pronounced. It's supposed to be like
Throuple,
couple.
I think.
Yeah.
It's
What's
like
that on Netflix?
Dating show, but it's a threesome. I don't know where it's on. I just see it advertised.
Sorry, so
it's
is this?
directed at me. I see it all the time.
I'm curious right away. So is it two couples, and the dating show aspect of it is they're trying to find the right third person?
They add a third person. Yeah.
Does the couple want the third person involved?
Yes.
No, it's forced upon them.
No, they do. They do.
It's like that mole show.
All right. If Tanya had to add one of the cast of the pod to your couple to form a throuple, who do you think she would select?
Oh God, so she's added. One of you guys is coming in to live with us.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is it? Oh, like is it?
And we're coming into your marital bed. We're coming right into your
fully
marital
functioning relationship. Wow.
Like you and I, if it's me, like you and I will snuggle watching TV with Tanya on the other side.
Oh, hold on. Can't she at least be in the middle?
Nope. Rules are rules, Puffy.
And when she goes away
we're
for
going
work,
MF. We're going MM and occasional F.
Come on, Puffy. You know it's got to be. You got to pick me. Actually, let's say you pick instead of Tanya. You have to pick one of us.
Ooh, the pressure's on now.
Because you don't want to pick Lester.
I mean, come on. You've lived with all us in a villa.
That's just not going to go well for you in the long run. That guy's too
Stoff
sexy.
keeps my hours, I think. Stoff
That's too sexy.
We'd have a lot more fun late at night betting on West Coast sports.
Absolutely.
Stoff would probably work the best in your relationship.
Gambling would be the foundation of our relationship.
We would be very poor. We'd be a poor household.
Tanya would be working to support two of us.
She'd have two deadbeats instead of just the one she has now.
Pretty much.
This sounds like a good show. Like I don't mean throuple. I mean you three together to sitcom.
Together. Yeah. Tanya would be recasting the show in one season.
Pretty quickly.
We'd be
all right. Maybe people can write in their throuple ideas. Which member of the pod they would invite into their throuple?
Ooh, nice.
Curious to see what the Ho family, which Ho wants to be added to the Ho family.
What else do I have? Jake Hens 3488 writes in, Stoff, my season was done by then was a great line. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing well. Thank you.
I don't even remember the joke. Was it a good line?
Well, you were just asking if our podcast was still going on during free agency frenzy, and I corrected you. I said my season was done by then.
Right.
Chewy Louie writes in, excellent episode as always, everyone. Great work.
Whoa, just pure complimentary.
Just pure there's no negative comments the first week ever.
We just read out the notes when people were complimentary to us. Good job, everybody. Next one. Excellent work this week, guys. Next one.
Really enjoyed the podcast. So now time for the Platinum League.
First there was gold, it was successful, but now we go to another level. It's so much better, and you don't see the Platinum League, the Platinum League, the Platinum League.
So we have finally crowned our champion. It is Marcus McCarthy.
Wow.
Congratulations.
Winning
Marcus.
4-3 in a best of 7 props. The final prop coming within, it was the over-under for the game, so it was within 0.5.
Oh my goodness.
Andrew Arsenal,
in
Andrew
Final League
Arsenal,
history.
unfortunately, again, the runner-up. But big shout out for him, making 2 finals, quite an accomplishment in itself.
He's like the Niners.
Yes. Some people online were comparing him to the Bills, but I guess in more recent years it would be the Niners.
Can't win the Bills.
Marcus will win some sort of driver. Jimmy will be able to finagle from TaylorMade, hopefully. Or from the TaylorMade website.
Now TaylorMade, now that Tiger Woods is the face of TaylorMade Golf, the stock price must be going through the roof.
Well, what is it? Red Sunday? Red Rum Sunday? Yeah.
Stuff in my Red Rum Sunday.
Can you get me a...
How about a used Jimmy golf club signed?
Ooh, signed. That's the glove Jimmy used to pull the woman out of the car.
No, we'll get him
Vegas
something.
history.
I promise. We'll get Marcus something really good. I promise. Yeah, snow.
Cheers.
Too bright.
Yeah, it's very.
Oh yeah, it's
getting a lot.
My street is covered in snow.
Man, I got to get to work soon. Leave the vaginas talk until next week again. This is a great double tease, don't you think?
I think so too. I think people are now going to be tuning in strictly for the vagina talk. We also missed Taylor Swift's thing last week, how she's destroying our planet. So tune in for that next week.
Okay.
Nice. Taylor Swift is killing every species of bird imaginable.
I apologize. This is my fault because we had a little 10-minute problem with my with me unplugging my modem. Yeah. So once again, I take all of the blame for this.
This never happens on To The Rink podcast, now available with 2 episodes per week.
Thank you, boys. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We'll hopefully do a longer episode next week with the full staff and no Wi-Fi. Maybe we'll be back at Lester's place. We'll figure out a way. Let's say Lester again.
Pizza's on me.
Well, I gotta admit, this is until my little problems today. This is working way better than it ever worked before.
Yes,
this little system you found here on the old StreamYard is fantastic. Yes. So shout out to Stoff, MVP of the week,
and to the Rink podcast, who's supplying this coverage.
Puffy, I'll see you at work, and then I'll see you later on in our marital bed. Now that we're a throuple.
That was worth a throuple.
Hey, how are you? I got a question that I really want to ask you. Wait, don't hang up. I need to know, so I'm gonna try and push my luck. Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? Are they purple, yellow, green, blue, black, or white? Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? And do you like the dunk tank at the fair? I know it's a little strange, my obsession with your choice of footwear in the rain. I know that you're on TV, but I need you to put your boots up on the desk for me. Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? Are they purple, yellow, green, blue, black, or white? Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? And do you like the dunk tank at the fair? This is the part they call the bridge. A bridge has water under it. With rubber boots you can wade in the water. Just don't fall in. Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? Are they purple, yellow, green, blue, black, or white? Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? And do you like a dunk tank at the fair? Do you like the dunk tank at the fair? The dunk tank at the fair. Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? No, seriously. Are you wearing your rubber boots? Don't hang up, please. Somebody. Hey? Anyone?